Hello, what is everybody? It is Gaming on the Go. This is going to be our very first video, and I'm saying hour because I have a friend of mine that will be joining me for future videos, but as of now, because we're still trying to get stuff set up, and but basically this is going to give you a little bit of what we're about first, and then we're going to get into the subject, or I am, for that matter, because I know a lot more about the subject anyways, and basically this channel is, like the name says, it's gaming on the go. So like if you just can't, if you're trying to get up to date with certain topics and gaming stuff like that, then you can you listen to this on YouTube, wherever, on the go. So it's a fun, cool podcast we're gonna be doing, and we're very avid gamers, and we've played games for a very long time, a lot of different games, and we hope you very much enjoy. But today, as you see, the title says it's CS:GO. Now, I know this would be like a weird kind of topic, but it is a very important topic for gaming. Why? There's a very few different reasons. There's a lot of reasons actually as why CS:GO is a very important game and subject to even talk about in gaming, because we start to see a lot of the other huge franchises fall, such as, Call of Duty, Halo, but that might not be too surprising to a lot of people because, Call of Duty's kind of gone downhill the last few years, same way with Halo, but Halo's a little few more years ahead of Call of Duty in terms of going down, but as a avid fan of gaming, I can speak from the casual side and I can speak from the competitive side. I still do competitive gaming. I've moved away from Call of Duty. Advanced Warfare was one of the last straws. Ghost was definitely one of the and this is going to be all tying into CS:GO because it's very, very important, because this is going to be like pretty long, pretty lengthy video. So, I mean, it's a podcast, so without my friend, obviously, right now, but basically, what I'm trying to get to you is that for the past few years, I've been doing a lot of competitive gaming. My first game for casual was Halo 1, Super Nintendo, the Flintstones, and Star Fox, and stuff like that. And I grew up playing Halo 1, Halo 2, GameCube, Smash Bros. Melee, and Animal Crossing, and Monkey Ball, or something like, I forget the name of that game, but I just grew up playing all that stuff, and, Gears of War 1, but I still play that today, a Call of Duty's, Medal of Honors, Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway, freaking the early Rainbow Sixes for regular Xbox, and Battlestar Galactica, so I've played an extensive amount, and same with PlayStation games, Legend of Dragoon, the Tony Hawk series games, Final Fantasies, Kingdom Hearts. Like, I've been playing a very long time, and to me, the 2000s was the greatest decade of gaming, in my opinion. You had like a lot of the titles I just mentioned off the bat right there, even though some stretch back to the 90s, but very, very huge decade for gaming. So many cool consoles, so many cool gaming concepts, and everything like that came together, right? And now you start, like, if you really look back then, it's like you didn't see too many people care about graphics. I mean, obviously when new stuff, like new games came out with new graphics, you're like, oh wow, but you didn't really hear as much as today. And that's the thing that brings us to CS:GO. Why is CS:GO so popular? I see people in the Twitch chats all the time. They sit there and say, this game looks so old, this game looks boring. Now, the boring part, I do not see that too often, but it's a lot from the Call of Duty kids, Call of Duty players, whatever, and, Halo players, et cetera, et cetera. But I see so many people say this, like, these things, and it's like, do you not realize the amount of viewers, like, for a simple, like, a small tournament, anything, it's bigger than Call of Duty. It's bigger than Halo events. It's bigger, like, a small tournament is bigger than a Halo event. How funny is that? Like, once, like, I just named off two big powerhouses, ex-powerhouses in gaming, right? Call of Duty and Halo. These games used to be so huge, right? And now, it's funny because you look what they've turned into. And I just can't believe that I actually bought because in terms of GB, for the pro points they had in Advanced Warfare, I got semi-pro. But did I ever go to an event? No. Have I been to local events? Yes. I won a FFA event at GameStop for the release day of Advanced Warfare. That's about it. Other than that, small stuff, GameStops, and just I don't really count as LANs. But it's just I did all of that, and then I was like, all right, PS4, because it's moving. That's what the new console competitive is, right? And I got that, and I put in so much time, Black Ops 3. But like Embo said, he's a former pro player, Call of Duty. He's an Optic. Apathy. A few other players, what they've said, like Nadeshot, even for example. It got to a point when I was playing. They still play Call of Duty, but I can't. I just cannot do it. I've been 4 or 5 months free from it. I can't believe I actually got a PS4. I mean, I got Fallout 4 for it and stuff like that, but other than that, I was like, wow. I felt like an idiot, like a complete idiot. Like, because, Halo, yeah, I was, it was okay, but it's like Gears of War. Gears of War, I did get semi-professional for Gears of War. I'm very, very good at Gears of War. I've been competing in that for a few years now, and for Gears of War Ultimate Edition, I got very, very good on that, but it just got to a point where it got too boring for me, and I was like, I'm very good at Call of Duty still, so let me just play this. But, obviously, I've not beat no pro teams or been to, like, pro events, unless you're a pro team, you really can only brag about that. But, how this ties in is like, it got to a point where in Call of Duty, right, like, you're sitting there, at one point Call of Duty did take a lot of skill. It did. You had to be very precise for a lot of things. You had to know, you had to know, like, you have to be in a certain mindset in Search and Destroy and objective game modes. You had to be in a very good mindset. Search and Destroy, I will never forget my Search and Destroy mindset. It's imprinted in me. It's engraved in my head. But Search and Destroy, for you guys don't know, is basically just like CS:GO. Excuse me, but it's only up to 6 rounds, and or 6 round wins until you actually get the W. But it can go to round 11. So, but basically, what I'm trying to say is that it got to a point, just like the pro players I just mentioned, former pro players or current, they like. I'm not going to speak for them. I'm going to speak for myself, because I'm the person that bought, like many others I know that's regretted it, a PS4 for this game. I'm pre-aiming a bottom of a tree, right? Because you got to really think about it this way. When a game that's played competitively gets randomized, that's when it's no longer competitive. Now, randomized, when I'm talking about, random, put it, plain terms, like, okay, yeah, of course, stuff gets random in any competitive game, right? But when it starts to get to a point where you can't even prepare for it, you can't. It's just, there's no taking it serious. You're like, oh, well, he got me. You know what I mean? You can't say that. Older Call of Duties, somebody can't just come out of a doorway, zoom out, and just jump up 30 feet in the air. You couldn't do that. You had to watch. You had to cut off maps. You had to cut, like, when S&D, like, we used to say is like, we cut the map in half. Cut the map in half, and you play on your side. Watch your cutoffs. Watch your doorways. Watch your this, that, and you didn't have to worry about people like just boom, like, just spinning out. Now you had to be prepared for somebody just normally sprinting out in a pre-aiming or making a crazy play. But now it's to a point where I'm pre-aiming at the bottom of a tree. Like, I'm speaking of that Redwood, right? And this happens to all maps. Don't really matter. I'm just trying to give you particular, example. I'm pre-aiming at the bottom of a tree, and the tree is pretty high. I'm like, trying to make my way to A-bomb. This dude is flying in the top of the tree and just has a complete angle on me. And at that point, when that started happening, quite often, I had to set controller down. I was like, I can't do this no more. It's not just that, but it's all of this new jumping and crap. It's not really new, but it's dumb. It's completely random. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't intrigue me as a player. Like, oh yes, I'm excited for that. It's like, no, I'm not. You're wall running around the map, walking around at exploits, sitting on top of buildings that shouldn't even be allowed, and then you're on top of that. Call of Duty is a sad, very, very sad game, because if you have the better connection, like any game, you get better connection, but Call of Duty is way different. You can get one bursted. What one bursted means is there's semi-automatic guns, right? Burst weapons. You can get one bursted in the foot, and it don't matter. And not just that, you're in a gunfight, and somebody doesn't even have you're already pre-aiming something, right? You're already ready for them. They don't even have to be pre-aiming you. They can just hip-fire you really retarded like crazy, and they can get a lucky headshot on you. And it's instant. So at that point, I said to myself, I was like, I can't no longer play this. And that's one of the downfalls, but a lot of people agree with me on. I know a lot of people that said the same exact thing I'm saying. Like Neja, like these ex-pro players, current pro players that have a huge following and tons of support on their videos they made about it. And they got tons of support because they all share the same opinion. If you've been playing Call of Duty for a long time, you realize what I'm trying to say. It's got to a point where it's just not competitive anymore. It's so random. It's so fast. You're getting joked majority of the time by people that's not even ever going to win a LAN, that's never going to even place pro top 10, top 16 ever. You just see it. But they have a stupid connection. I mean, I wouldn't mind, like Halo. Halo's different. You can get joked sometimes every now and then, but it's 4 to 5 shots, depending on connection, that you get your perfect medal, perfection. I've been playing Halo every day, but recently I had to stop playing Halo 5. I got Onyx one last time, and Slayer and Arena. I was like, I'm done. And I went back to MCC to play, older Halos, have fun, try to have fun, even though they're broken. But, it's just Call of Duty's not competitive anymore, and it's stupid. It's just random. There's no really set, defined skill. Then you're like, oh, then how come Optic's always winning? I mean, it's very close games with, very top teams. Like, it's always, always going to have that. But Optic's a very, very good team. So, but that's besides the point. That I'm trying to tie this all into CSGO, into why CSGO as a whole. Because you can't just talk about CSGO. You have to talk about why it's so big. No, it's not just because, a lot of people from Europe. No, you have a huge base in States too. Because people don't realize that these other titles that were once huge and always talked about failed because they all try to copy a same concept. Do you not realize, why don't any developers realize this, right? CSGO's a very original game. It's been around for a long time. Since the early good days of gaming. What I call the good days is the 2000s. That's the last time of good games, right? And now you have these futuristic shooters, and everybody wants to be the new futuristic shooter. Jumping, boosting. You see it in Halo. You see it in COD. You see it, Titanfall. It's all over the place now. Now Call of Duty's going to space. Oh my gosh! See, they don't realize. And then when that COD trailer came out, then they realized. But then this will be another future topic for the podcast. But what came out recently that got huge support, and that's already made me want to pre-order it. I will pre-order this game. I haven't looked into further details about pre-order yet. I didn't know if it even come out yet. Battlefield 1. Getting it. Why do people love that? organic shooter. We know what happened. We know what's actually real. We know that it's not total stupid, this will possibly happen. No. It's actual stuff that's happened. It's organic. You don't have to worry about people doing stupid crap. It's organic. It's fun. It's cool. Simplistic, yet awesome. Just like CSGO. Simplistic. You don't sprint. You have to do all that. You have to pace yourself. CSGO is very successful. It's very eye-capturing. It's, so much suspense built up in the game, right? And, we're almost 16 minutes in, so got some good time, but, this is what Call of Duty once had, right? You could arguably say, it still has it, but no, it's never like it. See, how you have the caster view when you're watching CSGO tournaments? Do you see, because your character moves so slow in CSGO, like older Halo, for example, which I love because it's pacing. You have to be very careful and very knowledgeable, very disciplined, competitively. You have to have the mindset to adjust to that very, very carefully when you're playing CSGO. A lot of people underestimate that. You have to be in that mindset. You cannot just run out there, guns a-blazing. You know what I mean? You can't run in general, but you know what I'm talking about, Call of Duty and Halo, blah, 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 etc. But, when you see that caster, view on stream, you see, a person because your character moves so slow, you see them edging out with that sniper. And then, it's just instant suspense, right? And, other games have caught on that, caster view, but where you can see people through. Caster view means you can see people through the walls, basically outlined. The players can't, but you can for streaming, suspense, adds extra creativity to it, I guess you could say. Extra suspense. Because you're like, don't do it, but really they don't know. So, the players don't. But, it's awesome because at that moment for CSGO, it's either both players, because they're very talented, because they're very they pace themselves and champion pacing. It's mindset, and it's at that moment that they can't just dash out of there if they miss a shot. It's either you hit your shot or you better hope the other player don't do it. And that's the thing. It's that's what captured me for CSGO again. What I love about it, it's awesome. It's so slow, it's pacing. I'm not trying to say it's so slow in a negative way whatsoever. There's nothing negative you can say about CSGO. I mean, everybody, to each his own opinion. But, is it really a stretch to say that, this game's old? No. I kind of worded that wrong right there. Is it really a bad thing to say, right? From my standpoint, I know a lot of people share my same opinion, but Call of Duty and Halo and these new shooters, they're all the same thing. Yes, they have different things, but they're basically the same concept. Futuristic, boosting, jump, super random stuff that is just stupid. That, I don't know, I don't want to sound ignorant in the way I'm trying to explain how it's dumb, but it's it's so dumb because I've been, I realized it from a whole, I stood back and just looked at it for what it was. All these games, futuristic. Here's a very good point right here, right? Do you realize that CSGO, not much has changed, right? Yet it's so popular. Halo, the older Halos, people love them. People still love them. And did you realize that when they were in their own genre, they were peaking at huge amounts of views, huge amounts of interest, right? And then when they start all incorporating this futuristic stuff and similarities, right? Then you saw the downfall because they're no longer their organic ideas. Oh, yes. Oh, Call of Duty players, no. Here's the thing about here's what we can shut this down real quick. I've been playing Call of Duty since COD 2. Never got to play COD 1. We have the game still wrapped up, but we never even played it. Like I still got my Halo 2 copy right there, got all my Halos, all that. From way back, original Xbox days. Did you realize, right? It's like, those games were their own game. You know, this new concept of, futuristic stuff is not good for these new games. And you see that with the COD trailer, dislike, like ratio. Oh, it's Battlefield fans. No, it's not just Battlefield fans. It's Call of Duty fans. We've seen all year long people already talking about, this better not be a futuristic shooter or I'm done. I've said it, I'm done. I'm not playing that game. I'm just, no. I saw the it's not going to be exosuits. It's going to be like Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It's what Call of Duty tweeted. Like, it's not, there's no exosuits, they said. It's going to be like pretty much what you're used to in Black Ops 3. It is exosuits. I am not playing against people flying around super randomly. See, that is why CSGO is on top in terms of shooters. Now, you have your Dota, you have League of Legends. Now, that's totally different franchises I want to stay away from because I'm not experienced for those games or those titles, and it'd be almost an insult to even talk about it because I would sound completely lost, kind of, and I'd be sitting there just searching all these facts up. I may talk about it from a super honest standpoint, but I gotta really get my knowledge up on those before I even, and respected those titles because of how successful they are. But CSGO, right, is just, people don't understand, I don't even understand it, like, because it all happens so fast. Yeah, it's been over, like, the last few years, but, like, within the last 4 years, it really set in. It's like, we just had Call of Duty peaking at tons of views, tons of players. You used to see 200,000 or 300,000 people on, and now you don't see that, even though they can't tell you, but there's no way close to the older amounts of people that was online before. It's just, it's not the same amount of people. Like, Call of Duty now, you got gingerbread characters, and yeah, it's just stupid, man. And that's why people love Battlefield 1 and can't wait for that. It's because it's gritty, it's awesome again, what Call of Duty should have been. They should have had another World War II shooter. But this is World War I, so. But, it's a classic game, and that's why that's why this is all relevant and and ties into CS:GO. CS:GO is a classic shooter. It involves a great amount of skill. You have to realize that people want to see these games. People don't want to see people flying around and people just jumping around mindlessly and not giving anything really, like, no thought. I just see a lot of pro teams in Call of Duty just say, all right, let's just hit this. Like what? Like, I know you do that in, CSGO too, like, oh, let's do this as a team. But, it just gets to a point where they're just flying all over the place, and it's just like, it's not even fun. Like, I did very well for Black Ops 3 and competitively for UMG and GB, and it just got to a point, though, it's just like, there's people that's literally still one-bursting, flying all over the place. Like, it's not skillful. And, there's a lot of pro players that even agree with that. They even play the game. It's just, and people, you see all this hype for COD 4. Now, COD 4, if they do sell it separately, I will 100% get it. Now, if they don't, I may or may not. I don't know. But, it all depends if you can buy it separately online, I guess. I don't know. But, man, it's just, I just wanted to clear this up about CSGO and why CSGO is like where it's at. CSGO is stayed to its organic formula. It stayed to its concept. Now, some things may have changed, of course, with time. It has to. It's been out for a long time. But, like, people with Call of Duty, right? Like, I was going to say this earlier, but I got sidetracked. We're trying to explore a further point, but, see, you can't change, like a actual game. Like people say, oh, Call of Duty is the same thing every year. No, it's not. Call of Duty had different stories, concepts, etc. But you can't be Star Wars Battlefront. You know what I mean? Now it's changed. That's what you call change, when people went from running around regularly with different weapons, different stuff, different time periods, stuff that you could change. It's not just Modern Warfare over and over and over, World War II over and over and over. No, they changed a lot of storylines, but, same movements, but now it's not even, you get one burst weapons that if you have a good connection, you're just going to one burst, and you're going to fly everywhere and just jump around super high and stupid spots on the map that people won't even notice. And, oh yeah, that's their fault. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's just, I know I didn't want to contradict myself right there where I just said, yeah, but it's like, you can't sit there and say that's competitive. It's so stupid to watch. Now, Call of Duty and Halo is really relying on one franchise to even have viewers, and that's Optic Gaming. Because of how successful they are in Call of Duty, of course they're going to pull views. You see the views go up when they go, and then you see them drastically fall when they leave. Same thing with Halo. Once, Optic Halo plays, and they just, now it's just they get so much hate because they don't have a very set team because they've had a lot of unfortunate roster changes. But just they don't work in general, in my opinion. But that's another video. But point is, they're relying on these two big, big franchises are now relying on one team, one franchise to even make their esport relevant. If Optic Gaming was gone from both of them, I don't even think you would hear from the games anymore. It's honestly sad. And CSGO is, I'm just proud that we have a game that's modern and kind of classic, but for the most part, modern. And it's how successful it is what really makes me proud to even be, in the gaming today. And I just, so much respect for the game, man. So much respect for the developers that they care enough to give us a satisfying and skillful-based game. They didn't fall onto, let's just add sprint, let's add jumping boost, you know what I mean? Like, they said, this has been working. Halo, the early Halos worked, but they changed them to boosting and stuff. People love the older Halos more than the new Halo, except for the new Call of Duty kids that went to it. And you can clearly tell there's a lot of Call of Duty kids from the Twitch chats. Oh my gosh. But, and same thing with Call of Duty, though, to tie this video up. So I usually do this about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how extensive we can get with the topic. But, Call of Duty, it was once very good, very, to pace yourself. It's almost like CSGO, except it had sprint. And now it's just either you enjoy flying around and watching people just do one burst you all the time and joke you. You can, if you don't believe me about this stuff, just go watch a normal. It's every day I watch these streams. Every day you see these pro players play 8s in Call of Duty. They're raging something about getting joked every match. You don't hear that in CS:GO, unless there's something very laggy, and because it's PC. But you don't have your problems in every game. But, I don't know. It's just too sad to see these X franchises. They once had very good concepts. Now they've just slumped down. So, that's about CSGO, man. That's it. See, I think I did pretty good in this video. Let me know how I did. This is my very first video solo in the podcast series, Gaming on the Go, episode number 1, CSGO. So, let me know how I did. Please give me some pointers, and I really hope I did a very good job for you guys, and I hope you all enjoy this. We're going to put a lot of time in this podcast, in this show, and this channel, but we're going to try to get it as big as possible. Hopefully it can be on iTunes, all that future. That's our future goals for this podcast. We want to do this for you guys. Have a cool, and we'll get the Twitter put up, everything like that. You can submit us questions. And you know what, true gamers, if you're a true gamer, we connect straight with you. If you're a gamer in general, we connect with you. We want you to be engaged. Have a cool, we want you to feel like you're a part of the podcast. We want you to feel like you're part of the scene. Hey, do you have a title that, like Call of Duty or Halo or whatever, that you just feel like the developers are ignoring you? Ask us about those questions. We'll give our take on it, because I've played these games avidly, except Call of Duty. But I know all the problems in Call of Duty. I keep really up to date with it. But, if you just feel like you're just lost in the gaming scene and you don't feel like you have a voice, we will very much get your opinion in. I don't promise everybody, but for the most part, we will very much get we'll get a lot of the same questions. So if 30 people is asking about a spawn patch, we'll talk about a spawn patch. 30 people talking about this, that, bug problems, we'll talk about that. So we can kind of wrap up all these questions in general. But this was a very long video, and this is about the normal pace, guys. So this is a cool podcast, and I don't think anything really like this has been done. So this is Gaming on the Go, and we hope you enjoyed. But yeah, we'll be posting Mondays and Fridays. Now, if you don't like that schedule, I'm just trying to get all this wrapped up to you guys. This is very last minute because, times changed, because the setup was supposed to be everything was going good, but we had a few problems with the setup. So I'm trying to get everything so I don't forget for you guys for the information. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe, give us any feedback. But yeah, for the schedule, if you don't like the schedule, we can, but you have to, we're trying to, be engaging with us. So we can help you and you can help us. So we can say, oh, that's a little, too low in terms of uploading, like Mondays and Fridays. But it's like, hey, we can do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it's a summer. We can start posting even a lot more because it's summertime. So, if it's all up to you guys, we really just hope that you stick with us and make this something cool, because we want to engage people. If you feel like you just don't have a voice and you're trying to, hey, why am I I feel like that I'm the only one getting spawn killed over and over because 343 Industries don't want to make one single spawn patch in the entire existence of Halo 5 that came out 8 months ago, then I'm with you on that. I will help you with that. We will talk about it. Break it down, say, hey, this is our thoughts and opinions on it. Maybe it'll get big enough by the community, and we can help with that. And 343 can realize that there's a fan base that's being ignored, because they ignore a lot of their fan base that I see over and over again. So we very much hope you enjoyed the. That's all my opinion, though. It's nothing factual, but so just in case somebody tries to say something from 343 or whatever. We just, that's our opinion. We hope we respect our opinion, respect yours. But I think that's pretty much it in terms of covering the info of the show and everything like that. So really hope you enjoyed the video, and please leave a like, and we'll catch you next time on Gaming on the Go. Peace.